Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Dead in the Water. I'm your host, Spence. I'm here. I'm here solo again, hoping to have the team back together next week. Turf is unfortunately unavailable tonight, but I'll be holding down the fort for you guys tonight. So, of course, we're watching NBA basketball. Playoffs are in full effect. Western Conference Final, Game 2, Timberwolves, Thunder. Looks like a pretty good game so far. I'm gonna do a recap and just put a bow on the Celtics season as they lost heartbreaker to the Knicks. Well deserved by them. Fantastic game, by the way, last night. I don't know if anybody was watching it, but unbelievable. What a way to end the game. Halliburton to tie the game up and then take it out in overtime. So get started with little recap. Just put a bow on what I saw in the playoffs, and obviously the Achilles injury to Tatum is horrific, and we wish him the best and a quick and speedy recovery. Hoping to see him back at some point next season, ready to make another run. Got my New England shirt on today. We're gonna rep the Patriots for OTAs getting underway. This is the voluntary section of it, so it's great to see as many people have come to the OTAs as have this year. It's definitely shows a commitment that Mike Vrabel's getting from his guys. Back to the Celtics, though, the few takeaways I had from what happened and the ending of that was I really believe that we overextended our players, especially knowing what we know now. Like Jaylen Brown was playing with an injury. Obviously Tatum popped his Achilles, and I don't know that there's much you could have done about that. Right, there's a freak injury, but I don't think we needed to push them as hard as we did. I think one of the jobs of the coach is to manage the minutes of these guys. Like I don't think it's fair. It's two things actually, right? Like one is to go from having a deep rotation all year where you rotate in guys in and out and nobody's really playing a heavy load of minutes, to go to the playoffs, shorten your bench to 6 to 7 players, and then just ask all those guys to do 45 minutes a game. It's ridiculous, especially considering we typically referred to as having the deepest roster in the NBA. Maybe the Thunder have more on the bench than us, but I mean, it's like 1A and 1B. We are, that was supposed to be one of our strengths, was that we can give these guys, our superstars, rest and not miss too much. And when you play 6 guys, 7 guys, you take that advantage away. I don't know how much you can do about the shooting. We shot horrendously. all the losses were pretty much the same. Shot less than 40% from the field, less than 30% from three. That's a recipe to lose every single time. Now, going through the season, most people said, I don't see that you can, that'll happen 4 times in a 7-game series. Well, it happened to us. And, the game Tatum went down, we were probably going to lose that anyway. So I don't really have much hope that even if he had made it through that game, we would have been able to pull it out. As far as what specifically about the game flow I didn't like, aside from substitutions, I feel like, and maybe this is symptomatic of playoff basketball, I don't know, but I feel like during the season they got really good at ball movement. It's I know people hate all the 3-point shooting that goes on in today's NBA, but it is what it is. That is today's game. It's heavy on 3-point shooting. So I don't have so much of a problem with that, but I like the game to be played right. I can't stand ISO more than 3-point shooting. I can't stand ISO basketball. I hate it. Hate it. As a fan, I wouldn't want to stand there and watch Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum hold the ball for 10 seconds, 15 seconds of the clock, wait for the clock to wind down, and then start to do something. And I felt like we got into way too much of that in these playoffs. And we were able to get through the first round doing that because we're just a better team. And eventually, they couldn't run with us anymore. But the Knicks are a little deeper. They're a little bit more of a problem. I don't really feel like the book is unknown on them. I just feel like we didn't read it. It's kind of bizarre. I think you saw it a little bit towards the end in the Pacers game. The way you get after the Knicks is you just take Brunson out of his rhythm. And I don't feel like we really got into him too much. He kind of got what he wanted whenever he wanted it. So I didn't like the defensive game plan. I thought we relied too much on just playing, straight up defense with help, weak side help. And we didn't do enough to trap, and especially make Brunson uncomfortable. And he's the key to that team. Like, honestly, if I was Missoula, I would have been trying to bring him out from the back where they're hiding him all series. Whoever he was guarding, I would have brought up to the front, put him in a pick and roll, and got him switched on to whoever the primary ball handler was and attacked him repeatedly until he fell down. I would have put him on the bench early in the first half. I would have put him on the bench early in the second half, or fouled him out. I wouldn't have just let him go and hide in the back line like he did for most of the series. But that's defense. Offensively, they just have to shoot better, right? I'd say it's nothing more complicated or sophisticated than that. Like, they shot very, very poorly. I didn't really feel like they got terrible shots, but the strength of the Celtics is a game flow, shots that are not like forced, right? And I'm not talking necessarily about contested shots. I'm just talking about a lot of what Tatum likes to do. And honestly, he's the only one that was really hitting consistently at all. But I mean, that kind of stuff, like where you jab step them in and then you take 2 steps back and fade away 3, it's really not the Celtics game. And Tatum does that sometimes, and drives me nuts. But I mean, sometimes he gets hot. He's a good shooter, and he can get hot doing that. But the rest of the guys really rely more on spacing, ball movement, penetration, and I didn't see it. I didn't see it, and that again, unfortunately, I love Joe Mazzulla. I love his post game talks. I love his fire, but that's on him, man. That's the coach's job. If you see those guys getting too much into the ISO game, you got to call timeout and be like, "What are you doing? Let's move the ball, pass." That's when we're at our best. When that ball is flying around the floor and you're making the other team run to cover and recover, that is when we're at our best. Then you start to have defense turns to easy offense, turnovers, lazy passing, because they're tired from playing defense. And I just didn't really see much of that in the playoffs. We did it in spurts. I felt like we locked in for 3-4 possessions, and then we just kind of go back to standing around waiting for Jalen or Jason to do it, or Derek. I don't know if Drew Holiday was injured, but he doesn't look like this. He didn't look like the same player in these playoffs that he was last year. Maybe it's because he got his ring last year and he wasn't as committed to it, but he honestly doesn't seem like that type. So I got to believe that something's going to have to give. Now, they probably have a year to figure it out because Tatum's not coming back until late in the season, if at all. What is this going to mean if this team doesn't show some fight next year? I'm not really sure what's going to happen to the roster. Maybe nothing's going to happen to the roster. The way they lost made me think that the new ownership group might have forced Brad to make some moves this offseason to kind of lighten the payroll. But the more I hear, the more I'm not so sure that's going to happen. I feel like they might just try to run with this group again. Obviously, I think free agents are probably not going to get re-signed. I could pull that up. I'm not even sure who we have for free agents. But it's I think that might actually be what happens to this team. I think aside from any trades that may or may not happen this offseason, I think we're probably the more likely thing is that you're just going to see like expiring contracts over the next couple of years just not get picked up. The big one is going to be Al Horford. I think he probably retires. He was only making $9.75 million. And I want to say we're 33 million over that second apron. So he's not going to really do much. Luke Cornett is a free agent, $2.8 million. He's probably gone. As much as I like Cornett, he's probably gone. I'm guessing he'll probably get paid by somebody more than $3 million. But we can't bring him back. Next, J.D. Davison. As much as I liked how he's his game has grown over the last couple of years, I don't think he's coming back either. I think he's gone. I think they'll probably just take his spot and throw whoever they draft this year into it down in the G League. And Davison will have to try and find his way in the league at this point. He's still only 22 years old. It's nuts to think that he's been like on this team for like 3 or 4 years. But he was literally a kid when they drafted him. So I wish him the best. I don't think he's coming back. Next up is Torrey Craig, who we acquired. This one's the most like mind-boggling to me because we got him like mid-season, or we traded for him. We actually went out and got him. For what reason, I'm not sure. Like, he didn't even play in the playoffs. Like, if you were getting him for a playoff run, like, he played 10 minutes maybe in the playoffs total. So I'm not really sure about that. And 8 of those are probably garbage. 9 are probably garbage. He probably played 1 minute legitimately in the playoffs, maybe. Drew Peterson is I don't know if they're going to keep Drew Peterson. Yeah, my guess is he's a restricted free agent. He's a two-way player, so I don't know. Suppose it's going to come down to who they draft. But I would expect all of these guys to be gone or retired after the season. So that's it. That's it. As far as guys that are under contract, let's see what we got here. I think the most likely candidates, I remember looking at this last week, Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday. Drew's making $32 million this year, and he's still got 3 years left on his deal. Porzingis he's in the final year of his deal, and he's $30 million this year. So I think between the free agent money and one of those guys being gone, I think you put yourself back in good shape. Honestly, I think as much as I don't want to admit it, I think Porzingis might be the odd man out in this group because he's just not healthy enough. I mean, the guy just doesn't play enough. To be honest, like, if Al Horford's retiring, I would not trade Kristaps. I wouldn't. I would shift, especially with Cornette being gone and Horford retiring. That's your two primary bigs other than Porzingis. So I definitely wouldn't trade the other primary big. I'd keep Porzingis. I'd work Kata into the rotation. Let him get more minutes. I think Kata, if you let him develop more, and especially if Porzingis is out for extended periods of time, which he usually is, it gives Kata time to work on his game and get better. I think he could legitimately be, a relatively cheap option. We've got him under contract for 2 years. He's making like under $2.5 million average. So that's a deal. Tillman is a little shorter, but we have him for 1 more year. So I would go with Tillman and Kata next year and try and back up Porzingis with that. The loss of Horford's going to be big. And he was more than just a really good player. He was a leader on that team. So I don't know how you replace that. Hopefully it's his Jaylen Brown's time and Drew Holiday to step up and Derek White take more of a leadership role on this team. And hopefully, I mean, honestly, maybe Jason Tatum can be around the team. He's not going to be running, obviously, but if he can be there, even if he can't run, he's just, at the practices, encouraging them, talking to them. I think that would be a good sign. We're going to get to see some expanded minutes, I think, from like guys like Bill or Shireman next year. Sam Hauser and Jordan Walsh. I think those are going to be the the guys they need to develop into the leaders and the next generation of players on this team. Um, you know, it was tough to watch last night and see, um, you know, see one of our old guys performing so well for the Pacers. But I understand it's a business, and we got ours, right? We we made the trade. We shipped off Naismith to get Brogdon, and ultimately returned Brogdon into Drew Holiday. So I can't be upset about that. Holiday was one of the key pieces to us winning that championship last year. So I would never trade that. But I'm glad to see Naismith is starting to pan out now. So you know what? One thing I don't know how I don't know if anybody's put any comments on. I'm trying with Restream this week too, by the way. But like Turf always says, chat lives matter. You guys, please comment, ask questions. If anything pops in here, I'm monitoring the channel as well as the chat in Restream. So if I don't see the questions coming up in Restream, I'll keep an eye on the chat as well. But please let me know if you guys have any questions or comments. We had a few last week that I didn't see just because my producer wasn't with me. So this is new for me too. So I'm learning. I'm feeling my way through it. So final thought. Celtics season next year is going to probably be tough. No Tatum. That's going to be it's going to be a stretch for us. But I just want to see more consistency. I want to see them treat the playoffs more like the regular season. I want Missoula to play his brand of basketball, force that on these guys, instill that in these guys. I don't like seeing this devolve into ISO basketball. I want the beautiful game. I want the passing, the quick passes around the perimeter, the penetrations and kicks, looking for the open shot, people turning down a good shot to get a great shot. Unselfish basketball. And then ferocious defense. Now, I understand that going that hard at somebody in a 7-game series requires you to use your bench. So don't be afraid to use it. I mean, part of the reason that we ended up shipping off a lot of these young guys that we shipped off is because they never were given the chance to show or to work on their game and get it going. Today's game is a bunch of 18 and 19-year-old kids getting drafted and asked to do something crazy, which is like take down 25, 27-year-old guys, 28-year-old guys that are, physically superior to them, mentally superior. They're just more ready for the NBA. They're more ready for the grind. These kids might have the stamina to run 3 marathons, but when you're going up against seasoned professionals that have been doing this for a decade or 6 years or whatever, you see the holes, you see the flaws. Now, like, you look at year one, Shea Gilgeous Alexander, or you look year one, even Kevin Durant, LeBron James. Yeah, they grew by leaps and bounds in the first 4 or 5 years in the league. It, it's not even a question. I mean, when Durant came in the league, he was lethal. He was a lethal shooter, but he didn't turn into the Kevin Durant we know now, like overnight. He was a really good scorer, but he wasn't the best scorer in the league. He got there really fast, actually, but um, LeBron's probably not a good example because he was an athletic freak. He probably could have played in the NBA when he was in middle school. I don't know. He's just unbelievable. But he, he came into the league averaging 25, 8. I mean, that's ridiculous. But I mean, Tatum even now is doesn't look anything like he did when he was a rookie. He was a skinny little kid. Same thing with Jalen. It's like I still see those pictures of him with the flat top when we drafted him. It's wild, but this team has still got plenty of talent. So I just want to see them stay with it. Don't dismantle this team. Bring back as much as you can. If you got to make a trade, I'm in Brad. I trust. He's got nothing but my trust. He's proven over and over again that he knows exactly what he needs to do to make this roster work. So I trust him explicitly. And good luck to the other teams that are left in the playoffs. I hope we just get some good basketball. I saw the Minnesota Oklahoma City game had the worst ratings for game one of any basketball game since like 2018 or something. Any playoff basketball game, which is crazy considering like two of the best young players in the league are in this game. So it's please watch the game, enjoy it. You're not going to see these kind of players every day. So everybody should be, enjoy it. It's the game tonight. It's 58-50 right now. At halftime, Oklahoma City's leading by 8 points, looking to take control of this series. And that's it. I'm going to close it out. Almost 30 minutes on the Celtics. I could probably talk about them all day, but the NBA playoffs I thought this has been one of the most entertaining playoffs. Sadly, the Celtics aren't a part of it anymore, but that Knicks series was great. Not for us, obviously, but for New York, it was a big moment for them. And that game yesterday was amazing. Knicks and Pacers game one, the choke sign and everything. That was great. And then obviously I didn't really expect the Thunder to just come out and curb stomp the Timberwolves, but it's kind of how it's gone so far. Hopefully Ant can live up to the hype and start to take some of that shine off the Thunder. All right, so real quick, we'll get into the Patriots OTAs. Some of the news that's been going around. See what people have been saying about who's been showing. So as far as OTAs go, we're in the voluntary section. It looks like we got a couple days of OTAs going in the books now. From what I've heard, the shows I've watched, it looks like the showers from the first couple days of OTAs, no surprise, Christian Gonzalez, showing why he's, one of the premier elite corners in the league. Had a very nice pick off of Drake May. And Drake May was actually in a notable OTA participant for the wrong reasons, through 4 interceptions in the first OTA practice. It looks like there might be some learning pains as they introduce the Josh McDaniels offense, which is, anybody that's, had Josh McDaniels as an offensive coach, the Raiders, I know they can attest to this. I know the Broncos can attest to it. The Patriots certainly can attest to it. It's his offense is not easy. He asks a lot of everyone, but especially the quarterback. So there's quite a bit to know, a lot of movement, a lot of protection adjustments. All that stuff takes time. And then a lot of option routes on top of it can make it look ugly sometimes. So, it's no question that May probably made a couple mistakes today, but I'm sure the receivers probably made a couple as well. It's if it's hard for a quarterback, it's equally as difficult for the wide receiver. If they're looking for some sort of coverage shift or some alignment that's, that they're misreading and they're doing the wrong thing, that's how it is. But, that's why you do OTA, so you can get this stuff out of the way. It's as far as the showers from today, it sounded like Afton Chisholm had a nice day, has had a nice OTA so far. Looks like there's a lot of hype for Will Campbell about him just, having a couple good practices, building on top of the rookie camp. And he's looking like the real deal. So that's great. It's they said he held his own against Keon. So that's all you can ask. That's what you want. You want your left tackle to protect the blind side. As far as the line, I didn't honestly hear too much negative feedback about the line, so it looks like they've been doing a pretty good job so far. The talk is about skill players, which is a nice change. I feel like the last year has been dominated by talk about our line just getting blown up completely every single time they had to do something. So it's nice. It's a nice change. Who else do we talk about? Who was our other name that I saw in the news was our safety out of Cal. His name is escaping me for some reason. Let me see. I'm sure he's probably in here. Craig Woodson. So Craig Woodson, who was the maligned member of the draft class for the Patriots this year. I think universally I saw that pick get pretty slammed by draft experts. So far, people are saying he looks like a stud. So, good job, Mike. Hesitate giving a ton of credit to Elliott Wolf, but have to give him some, I suppose. He was in the room, so gonna criticize you for the misses, gotta also praise you for your hits. Will Campbell, Craig Woodson. It's looking like this might be a pretty solid draft class. I've actually heard a lot of good things about all of the running backs, about all the drafted players this year. Even Land Larison, undrafted free agent. He's he seems to be showing up. So this is impressive. Travion Henderson, excited to see him. It looks like Ramondre, who unfortunately was not in attendance. He looks like he's going to be the lead back. And it's going to be Travion Henderson's the change of pace, and Antonio Gibson's going to mix in. But Travion's he's built different, man. He's got a gear that not many have. But he's also vicious pass blocker too. Just a blocker in general. I'm really excited to see how he's going to get used. But he's got speed, agility, quick cuts. He can run it up. He can run it out. He can catch it out of the backfield. He can block. He can lead block. And he can do the whole thing. He's a little bit undersized, but it's he plays with the kind of attitude you want. So I'm excited about that. And I've always been an Antonio Gibson fan. I thought he played pretty well last year, but honestly, we were so bad, kind of hard to evaluate. We'll see this year. I think he'll probably get an opportunity to shine at some point. But I think there's going to be some different faces in this room. As far as the wide receivers are going, looks like the most notable throw offensive was a back shoulder throw to Javon Baker. So great to see his name out there as being a positive. I know he got a lot of flack last year for not ever getting on the field after, all the hoopla around his draft. But let's see what these guys got. These second-year receivers, I'm ready to reset. Let them have another shot. Clean. I think hopefully one or both can develop into nice players, right? Baker and Polk might have just been victims of a very, very poor coaching staff last year. They didn't do anything to help themselves either, but to me, that whole thing was a debacle last year. So let's just move on, give them another shot. Let the new coaching staff evaluate him. Let Vrabel see him compete with everybody. Kyle Williams apparently didn't look so hot today. Everything that I heard was that sounds more like it's just learning the playbook, learning what's expected. And from everything I've seen and read about him and heard, he's got the right attitude. He's got the right temperament. He puts the work in. So I fully expect that he's going to do whatever it takes to get on the field. And I'm hoping that Jalen Polk and Javon Baker have that same attitude. Make this a hard decision. Obviously, we still have Kendrick Bourne and Stephon Diggs, and you have Mac Hollins now. So you've got some bodies in front of these guys. I don't know how many spots are open, to be honest. And Demario Douglas, right? Still kicking. Little Demario. So it's going to be interesting to see who wins these jobs and what they do with the rest. Are they going to cut them? Are they going to trade them? I don't know. We'll see. I have to believe that, Afton Chisholm, it sounds like, is probably going to make the team too. So it's another guy. and he's an undrafted free agent. So I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. But the good news is that the team is looking solid. We got some great news from Christian Barmore. He's full go, full participant. He's at the voluntary OTAs. He's looking good. No restrictions on his movement. He says he doesn't expect any more problems with the blood clots. So all that's resolved, hopefully. It's probably something he's going to have to manage for the rest of his life, but happy to see him back. I mean, this is shaping up to be a pretty insanely talented defense. I can't wait to see what they look like when they're all together. But let's just hope that we don't run into any injuries, and we actually get to see this thing come together. That would be amazing. So there's not a whole ton to report from the OTAs. I think we're pretty much at time with talking about what the first day of a voluntary OTA looks like. But it's looks very promising so far. I'll just say that, and let's keep an eye on this and see how it develops through the summer and into preseason. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Red Sox game from last night. Garrett Crochet looked nasty. He's so happy we acquired him. He looks like he's going to be an ace for a while. Of course, Alex Cora pulled him after 85 pitches. I didn't get that. Post-game interview said that he was expecting to go 105, 110, 115, something like that, because he needed to give the bullpen a break, and he was pitching great. I don't even understand why. Cora just came out and yanked him, though. Pulled him and put Hendricks in, and Hendricks did okay initially, but when he brought him back out, just folded up like a lawn chair, gave the game away. Now, I'm not the manager, so I'm not going to criticize Cora for that. I just didn't really understand why. I understand they're trying to manage his pitches and stuff because he's the ace of the team. But 85 is, for an MLB player, shouldn't be cap, especially not when you're in the, I think, fifth inning in a tight game. Like, that's when you got to lean on that guy a little bit. It's where you kind of, you're in the regular season still. You figure out where these lines are with these guys. How far can they go? Can you ask them to give you 110 pitches? And where does the stuff start to fall off? He didn't do it. He took him out. He's the manager. I believe Cora has a good beat on this team. So if he thinks that he needed to come out, I have to believe that he saw something. But it's a little mind-boggling. And then, obviously this team is just kind of slumping right now. I think they struck out like 18 times or something yesterday. I don't get it. It's a pretty good roster, but I mean, there's a few players in there that are mired in pretty bad slumps right now. And for all the great plays that Rafaela makes in the field, his at-bats look pretty terrible. I don't know what to do about that, but it's I don't know. You just keep working, I guess. It's I do believe he has the talent to be a perennial all-star. He definitely has defensive chops to be a perennial all-star. Same thing with Abreu. Like Abreu and And Devers seem like the only ones that are kind of hitting right now. Everybody else, and Bregman. Everybody else is kind of seems to be flatlining. Um, obviously, losing your first baseman for the season it's tough. We again wish Tristan Casas the best. Speedy recovery is for him as well. His injury looked pretty gruesome, so wish you the best, Tristan. Get well. As far as the vacancy at first base, I don't know. They've looked pretty terrible. Everybody that they've put there is stunk. Maybe the solution is for Devers to play first base. I don't know if he's any good at it, but it looks like Campbell's getting ready, which seems kind of weird to me. Like, he's a pretty good second baseman. If anything, if I was going to do something short term, I might move Trevor Story to first base and bring up Marcelo Meyer, let him play short. While I don't think Story's been a disaster in the field, I don't think he's like a Gold Glove shortstop either. So if you can get a little bump in the field from Meyer and Story can take care of first base for you, why not? It's seems kind of crazy that they're thinking about putting Campbell over there. I don't know why we do that. Campbell is actually can move and play defense. I'd much rather see him just stay at second. But I don't know. You could also, if Campbell ends up going to first, you can put Story at second and still bring up Meyer. Story's done second base before, so I don't think it's a big ask for him to slide over. And he doesn't honestly seem like somebody that's got that kind of ego that'll, be like, this is my spot, I'm not giving it up. So it's that's kind of it for the Sox. That's the pitching staff looks like it's getting back to health finally. We got Walker Buehler back a couple days ago. Crochet pitched last night. I think we have a couple others coming up on the way. So let's go Sox. Hopefully we get healthier as we roll into summer, and they can crush it out. Wait for the inevitable collapse of the Yankees in the second half, and then overtake them. That's the other thing is as poorly as we've been playing lately, we're not that far back. It's pretty awful how bad the East has been this year, actually. So I guess that bodes well for the Red Sox that stay in striking distance of the Yankees until you can get it going, and then overtake them. Make them fight to get into the playoffs. We'll keep an eye on it. But I don't know where the line is if they keep losing. I don't know if they'll finish this. I don't think they'll fire Cora, but you never know in baseball. Sometimes it just depends on how bad the losing streak is, whether or not the ownership will do anything. So hopefully they get things figured out and turn it the right way. But it's tough. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know if you trade. I don't know if you bring up these kids. I don't know. A lot of questions, not a lot of answers. Just a quick update on the game. We've got the third quarter's underway now. We got the Thunder and Timberwolves. Thunder is still up 8 points. 61-53. Now, getting back to, so we've covered the Celtics, we've gone through the Patriots, we've gone through the Red Sox now. It's not a whole lot more, honestly. I don't really have any desire to spend any time on the NBA draft at this point. Maybe in the next couple weeks we can go over the top prospects and see how we think that draft is going to shake out. But the problem with the NCAA, I think I mentioned this earlier, is that these kids they don't come in the league ready to go. So even if maybe short of Cooper Flag looks like when he was playing the Team USA guys, he was holding his own. So he might be the only one. But honestly, I mean, you're probably looking at 2 to 3 years at least before any of these guys like start to contribute meaningfully to any of the teams that draft them. And then hopefully these teams aren't as much of a dumpster fire as most of those bottom dwelling teams are. A team like the Thunder, who has already got a really good team, really good, really deep roster. It's kind of crazy that they have the amount of draft capital that they have. Well, like over the next 5 years, they're going to have some enormous amount of picks, and probably a lot of high first round picks. I know they have Clippers, and they've got I think they've got some of Houston's. They've got picks from everywhere. Brooklyn, just insane how many picks they have. But I'll be interested to see what they actually do with all that. Are they going to draft these players, or are they going to trade the picks? My guess is they're probably going to use those picks plus some of the young pieces they have to try and upgrade them. Like, I wouldn't be shocked to see them try to turn like a Chet Holmgren into Giannis. That wouldn't surprise me. Like, on this team, Chet Holmgren's a luxury. He's a luxury. And I don't know that like he's got the build to be a long-term NBA player. So if I could spin him back out with another couple first-round picks that I acquired via other, trades, and I might do that if I'm them, to get, a Giannis in the peak of his powers to put next to SGA. That'd be wow. They're already a really good defensive team. If they were able to swing a Giannis, wow. I don't know what the league would do with that. Like, they're already the number 1 seed 2 years running in the Western Conference. I mean, a healthy focused Giannis on that team might actually just push them over the top if they are not already pushed over the top this year. The only thing that could put a wrench in that is if the Thunder were to win it this year. They may not want to rock the boat. Just keep that core together. So then it comes down to, what are the other dominoes in the league? Who else? There's a lot. I want to say Luka is a free agent. Let's take a look. What do we got for NBA free agents? I want to say Luka's the number 1. No, he's not on here. Maybe he's got another year. Let's see, Lakers. Yeah, he's not on here. All right, so he must have one more year. But LeBron James is a free agent. Fred Van Vliet from the Rockets is a free agent. Kyrie, I didn't know that. Kyrie's a free. He's got a player option. He's definitely going to opt into that, obviously. Harden. Let's see. Harden, Chris Middleton, Julius Randle, John Collins, Brooke Lopez, Clint Capella. Oh. Bruce Brown, Malcolm Brogdon, Miles Turner. Ooh, Miles Turner's a free agent. Tim Hardaway, Duncan Robinson. Interesting. There's quite a few names on this list, actually. I didn't realize that many. Obviously, biggest domino on that list is LeBron. Would I be shocked if he didn't go back to the Lakers? Yes, I would, especially with Luka being there. I think this might be LeBron's legitimate, best last chance to win. Now, the only thing I could imagine as far as storybook endings go for him, it was that he up and walks away from the Lakers and re-signs with the Cavs. That Cavs team is built to win right now. They need one more piece to really push them over the top, and maybe that's LeBron. Maybe you put LeBron in there with Garland and Spider, and that's it. That's all they needed. It's like putting his super team back together. But we'll see. I'm not really sure what LeBron's going to do. He got his son onto the Lakers. I mean, if LeBron left, I mean, the first thing they're probably going to do is cut his son. Bron is going to be out of the NBA. Van Vliet from the Rockets, I don't know what he's going to do. That Rockets team looks a little flawed, right? I mean, they're the number 2 seed in the West, but they're missing something clearly. Like when you watch them play, there was something missing on the team. They need something. Can't really put my finger on it. They're pretty balanced. It's almost like they didn't have a leader. It almost felt like a ship without a captain kind of deal. Which I would have thought Van Vliet would have been that guy, but maybe he wasn't. And then Kyrie and Harden have player options. Middleton has a player option. Randall has a player option. Collins has a player option. All those guys are going to take their player options and opt back in. This is like the best, just like the Knicks with Cat. Randall with the Timberwolves was like a match made in heaven. Like, that was the best thing they could have done, was swap those two players, because it's like rebirth them both. They look like different players this season. I mean, honestly, I'm happy for both of them, because I like both of their games. Karl Anthony Towns always looks like he's slow, but somehow he always gets to where he needs to go and gets the shots up, and he's a good perimeter shooter. He's a decent defender. So Randall had a really bad couple of years in the playoffs for the Knicks. So I'm glad that he got a chance to go elsewhere and prove that he can actually do this, because it wasn't going well for him in New York. Chris Middleton's been so injured, I can't imagine him opting out of an opportunity to make $34 million, because he won't get that anywhere else. Harden, I mean, as long as somebody's willing to keep paying him, he'll keep cashing the checks. I'm fortunate that the Clippers season ended the way every James Harden season has ended, with him just melting down in the playoffs. But that's kind of his MO. So buckle up for another season, because we're going to see it again next year. Kyrie had that knee injury, so he's probably washed for most of next year, if not all. So I'm positive he's going to opt into the $44 million. Van Vliet's option's a club option. Can't really imagine that they'll walk away from him, but 44 is kind of a lot for Van Vliet. I'm not really sure that he's a $44 million player. So it'll be kind of interesting. I could see them even opting in just to kind of spin him back out, maybe, in a trade. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And, some of the older players like Brook Lopez, I'd imagine, and Al Horford, I'm sure those guys are probably going to retire. I mean, maybe Brook wants to keep going, but I don't think he'll want to stay if Giannis leaves. And that team kind of falls apart. So we'll see how that all goes. This offseason is going to be interesting. There are always rumors about Clint Capella playing for the going to the Celtics, that they'd always been interested in him. So with Horford retiring, maybe that's something the Celtics look at, is going after Capella in free agency. I don't know how much he's going to ask. He got paid $22 million last year, so I don't imagine he's cheap. But maybe if it's maybe if they do some stuff and they can get down, then they can shed some money. They could bring him in. But my guess is he probably is not going to be able to get much of a contract from the Celtics. So a couple of these guys, unfortunately, I look at him, I'm like, he's probably going to end up on the Lakers with the new look LeBron, Luka Lakers. I assume that roster is going to get overhauled pretty severely this offseason. I can't imagine many of those guys are going to be there outside of Luka and LeBron. They're gonna gut that thing. You're gonna see some guys come in there, and they're gonna be able to play. Period. My guess is going to end up looking a lot like Dallas did. You're going to have some young talent mixed with some 3-and-D type guys. I'm sure they'll go get at least one center, maybe two. Actually, I mean, Miles Turner's probably not going to want to leave, but Miles Turner would actually be a great fit on that team. Somebody like a Malcolm Brogdon might be a good fit on that team. A Bruce Brown, that would be a good fit on that team. So we'll see. We'll see. Naz Reid. It's another one. I'm sure he's going to want to go back to the Timberwolves. And his is, he probably will, player option for $15 million. So he'll probably go back. But they might try to work out a long-term deal with him. he's turned into a pretty nice a nice player. He's 26 years old. He feels like he's been in the league for like 10 years, but he's only 26. I guess that's the benefit of good, one and done in college. We shall see how this offseason goes, though. This is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that the Celtics get healthy and we just continue to get better, have a good offseason, ready for the next year. Let's see how this game's going. I honestly, I don't have much more. So what do we got here? We got an 11-point lead. Thunder they're just holding it. It's up to an 11-point lead now. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. I don't know if this is me, but I don't see any chat activity, so it's a quiet night. Everybody's just trying to finish up finals that's in school, or they're all watching this game. All right, well, I think I've said everything I have to say for tonight. I'll let you guys get back to the game. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Spence. We're here every week, 8 p.m. Thursdays, Dead in the Water. And hopefully next week we get Turf back. All right. So until then,